Hey everybody, it's been a little while since my last video discussing how it felt like Gears 5 characters didn't really hold their momentum. I had a few people ask for me to go more in depth, so now that the Coalition has finalized the new movement for the game, here's the follow-up to that video. In this video, I'm going to directly compare the animations from Gears 4 and 5. The clips you're seeing on screen right now were taken while playing split screen, so that lag doesn't play a part in what we're seeing. These clips were recorded at 30 FPS, but that shouldn't really affect all that much, and I will point out when this might be a factor. The clips will show a bit of inconsistency in what animations will play for which actions in game, and other clips will go more in depth on why some of these animations are harder to react to. Before we start though, I want to make something clear. I recorded several of these animations and chose the most similar examples. That being said, I didn't necessarily get enough examples to prove that Gears 4 doesn't have these issues, but they are a lot more rare if they are something that do actually exist in the game. I might do a video where I dive deeper into specific animations and record many more examples, but that would be a pretty big time commitment, so let's see how this video goes first. Alright, let's get started on this first clip. We just have a simple strafe, walking back and forth, changing directions. No A button pushes. And we both get to about the same spot here, and both characters basically come to a complete stop. If you watch frame by frame, in the moment it doesn't really seem like a complete stop at full speed, but they stop and change their directions as you would expect. In the second clip though, you see something a little bit different. As they both come to a stop here, this is actually the frame that they stop moving to the right. Notice how the Gears 4 character is bent in this direction and kind of, going to be coming to a more of a stop here before kind of rotating their weight back to the other side and then pushing off. The Gears 5 character is going to come to a stop here and not really ever put any weight on this foot. If you were to turn in real life, yeah, you would put weight, this knee would bend down and you would push back off of it. But notice all of a sudden it's almost like sliding back. Like this frame here almost looks like they're performing a slide into this cover. It's very hard to kind of gauge what the move is that they're doing. In reality, all they're doing is the most simple move in the game and turning left. But when they come in here to do this walk, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like there's a weight to that character there. And if you play back the front of the video, you can play it at real time and real speed. And at the end of the video, it'll be played at half speed for you. And so in the heat of the moment, when you're watching that player move, you're either waiting for something in their motion to change, to let you know that something's changing, or you're going to fire to where they're going. In Gears 4, if we look back here at what they're doing, if I'm watching and I'm waiting for my time to shoot, I'm seeing that they're continuing, and if we don't see the slowdown here, then I know that I can fire towards over here, but the moment I see this, I know that I have to shoot. Gears 5 doesn't have this. In the first clip, if we go back to the first clip here, the first clip does have it. This clip is just going to be Roadie running and then stopping the Roadie run, like letting go of the A button. There's nothing here. I ran this clip a few times and there was really not much difference. Everything played out pretty much exactly the same. Here though, this is the Roadie run, and then you're pulling back as you come out of the Roadie run. You're going to see that this clip is pretty similar. There's a potential that this character in Gears 5 will bounce back a little bit further, but I think that that's just because the movement speed going backwards is a little bit faster in Gears 5. I can't remember if that was a thing, but it certainly looks like it is based off this clip. This clip though, there's a little bit more of a ridiculous bounce back on the Gears 5 character. So again, they're both going to come to the same point, and it's kind of hard to see, but the Gears 4 character is actually standing straighter up, whereas you can tell that the Gears 5 character is kind of rocking back a little bit more as opposed to going straight up. I will say that this is a little bit hard to tell for sure because of the angle of the characters. And then this is just doing the same thing but head on, and this is where I think you'll see what I was talking about a little bit clearer. So both characters come running in, and then in the same amount of frames, it definitely looks like Gears 5. The Gears 5 character is further back and going a lot faster back and pulling out of the Roadie run a little bit more, or is already stepping back a little bit faster than in Gears 4. It's kind of hard to tell, but this is something that I've noticed in game a lot, and I think if especially these couple frames here, you see that, like, yeah, the Gears 4 character is backing up as well, even before coming out of the Roadie run, but the amount of distance traveled between Gears 5 and Gears 4 is kind of ridiculous. And that just means that, you add a little bit of leg in there, and by the time that you shoot someone coming out of a Roadie run, they could be a little bit further back, and then you miss the shot or you hit them for, just out of one shot range, and then they can walk in and give you right after. So here we have the Roadie Strafe. When I recorded the Gears 4 Roadie Strafe, some of the clips on Xbox Live just didn't upload, so I wasn't able to grab them. So this one with Gears 4 is going to look a little bit odd, and I wanted to put this in there because I am trying to prove that Gears 5 has not messed up, but incomplete or inconsistent animations. But I do want to point out that, Gears 4 very clearly does have that on occasion. Regardless, the timing on all this is the same. They go into it. If anything, I will say that Gears 4, you're able to pull out of the Roadie Strafe a little bit sharper. Which I think is, to say that I think that the Gears 5 Roadie Strafe is probably in a better spot than the Gears 4 Roadie Strafe. Gears 4 Roadie Strafe might have been too strong. I certainly abused it on quite a few occasions, especially 1v situations on an objective. It was one of my bread and butter moves. So I would say that Gears 5 is probably in just a better place overall for the Roadie Strafe, and I'll freely admit that. This one is just going to be the Roadie Strafe straight backwards, and as you can see, they both just are pretty instant into the turn. Probably if you add another frame in the recording here, it doesn't look quite as awkward, but this has been a thing since Gears 1. It's just super fast to turn and Roadie run away. Here we have the single bounce, nothing too fancy. Just going in, as you can see here, they both hit there, and the cancel. In Gears 4, I did flick the camera a little bit further, so that's why the body positions are different. There's nothing wrong with any of the animations there, but here's where it starts getting a little bit funky. Then we both go in, and then they both go into the slide. And then on the cancel, right here, you see that they both kind of have this little shift. And then Gears 4, look at how the legs come together to form the turn. Whereas in Gears 5, the character, the head stays at the same level and then kind of spins out. So when you're playing it full time, you're taking two things into account. You're taking the speed at which the character is sliding into the wall, and then you're taking into account the body position. And these are both kind of playing in your mind subconsciously. You're not like actively thinking about it because the game is too fast for that, but your eyes are looking for a change in body position that isn't coming in Gears 5. In Gears 4, the slide turns into you're standing up, and you're able to read that a little bit easier than when the character just slides into the wall and then kind of just starts sliding backwards in the same body position. So here we just have a simple up A. They're both coming from the same direction. They're both going to slide into the same area. And right here, this is going to be super nitpicky. This is probably the most nitpicky part of the video. But here you can see that the Gears forehead, that didn't come out right. The Gears 4 character's head is up. Like, the neck is much more extended, whereas the Gears 5 character is much, like, is scrunched down a little bit. And again, very nitpicky, but that is something that, you know, when a guy's coming running at you and a lot of things are happening, you might not react to the up A fast enough if there's not enough change in the body position. Here is the camera flip, where your body's positioned one way, and then, like, as you get into cover, you flip the camera to the other way. I was definitely surprised on this one. I thought that Gears 5 was, I thought that Gears 4 was a lot slower. Gears 5 was a lot faster. I think that the differences we're seeing here are maybe because I'm not as familiar with the Gears 5 timing as I am with Gears 4. As you can see, it's very, very quick on Gears 4, almost instantaneous, actually very instantaneous. In Gears 5, it's a little bit slower, or more frames are in there. But it's all about the same speed. In real time, you can rewatch the beginning of the video to see that. But yeah, again, you know, same thing here. So I kind of like what Gears 5 does. Again, it might be that I just don't have the exact timing right, so my Gears 5 is a little bit slower. But regardless, it can't be any faster than Gears 4. So I think I like what Gears 5 does with this a little bit better, actually, which was surprising to me. So here we have what I'll just call the turn bounce, where we slide into towards one side of the cover, cancel the bounce, and then slide into the other. So right here, you can see that both characters are in the same position, and then they're going to come to a stop and then turn. But as we look at Gears 4, similar to what we saw with the cancel in the other clip, she'll stand up, bring the feet together as they turn, and then go into the slide. In Gears 5, again, similar to what we saw with the single cancel, the body position doesn't change. It just turns, like, even though, again, I'm doing the exact same thing where I pull back on the left thumbstick to stop the slide and then turn the camera to go into the next slide, there's no turn here. And again, the timing between the two games is very similar. It's just, look at how much easier it is to read that, one, the cancel to the, or the slide to that side is not happening, so you know that you might have to hold a shot. So here we just have a simple up A turn. We're going to start with coming out of the up A and then immediately turning around, and you're just going to see that it's basically the exact same for both games. Exact same body position, same leg position, nothing different there. But here on the turn to the their character's left, you're going to see that both characters come out in about the same position, run forward a little bit, and then you'll see that Gears 5 actually starts turning a little bit sooner, and then has a much sharper turn. As you kind of see that in Gears 4, around this puddle, they kind of circle it a little bit before turning. Like, they kind of come almost to a stop at this point right here, which, you know, when this happens, gives the characters, or the opponent, a little bit longer to read the situation. And for the last set of clips here, we have a roll into a slide. For the most part, as you can kind of watch here with everything, frame by frame, the roll is basically the same. Come out of it. And then in Gears 4, you can see there's a little bit of walk. A little bit of walk forward here, and then into the slide. That's because Gears 4 introduced a bit of a delay when it comes to coming out of a roll. In Gears 5, however, there is not that delay. Even though, like, it's about the same amount of frames. That's not true. It's a lot faster, because right here, the Gears 5 characters pop in a squat, and then is all of a sudden moving forward out of it. Like, this one, it just looks so odd. And even this one, the second version of the clip, I think actually looks significantly worse because the slide happens like this. Basically, like all from a squat is already shifting very far into that direction. And because the body never switches over the shoulder, the legs never come popping up out of it. Body doesn't turn. And like the only change in body position is this leg comes sliding forward a little bit. Everything else stays basically the exact same in the upper body. So I'm going to play all the clips at half speed for the rest of the video so that you can see them all in motion. I know that some of this might seem very small, but these are the little things that make games feel right. These little things haven't been a problem in previous Gears titles, and that's why we have all fallen in love with the franchise. I don't think it's a secret that Gears 5 has been one of the worst received Gears games, and I feel like a lot of attention has been brought to the bigger things like the maps, characters, and all the more obvious stuff. I'm just hoping to shine a light on a more hidden aspect of the game. There was a lot of good conversation in the previous video's comments, and I would love for that to continue on here. And if you want to talk more directly, I stream at twitch.tv/btwick and love talking Gears. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.